From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth. Hope you had a great week out there, Jacksonville, getting after it, making things happen, and also having enough time to enjoy our beautiful city. We got a beautiful show for you lined up this week. Man, I'm so excited. It's legendary golfer. He's the captain for the United States Ryder Cup. He's been FedEx Champion of the Year. It's Jim Furyk. Jim Furyk joins us here at Tommy Mac's Bar. And, of course, legendary broadcaster from Jacksonville, from Northeast Florida, my good friend Sammy Kavaris, coming back on the show. He must like the beer, I guess. And, of course, we always like his company, up close and personal, and much more. Headed your way on this week's edition of The Horse's Mouth, right here on CW 17. Proud to introduce my title sponsor for The Horse's Mouth. It's Ewing Real Estate, a great group of people who can help you with any commercial real estate project out there. Whether you're developing land, you're building an office or an apartment complex, or you need some help with financing, we can assist you. Give us a call at 354-5573 or visit us online at allenewing.com.
What makes the Tom Busch Family Dealership so special?
It's because we treat our customers like family.
I like the fact that I can come and call him and say, oh, this is what's going on.
We're here for you. That's a cool thing.
It feels like that. It feels like I'm a family member of the BMW now. What's my next car going to be, the M?
No, an 8 Series Coupe.
Ooh, really?
Google it.
Okay, I'll Google it.
We invite you to join our growing family.
Visit one of our 7 locations today and experience the Tom Busch difference.
All right, welcome back to The Horse's Mouth here on Buzz TV. As promised, Jimmy Furyk here. So is my good friend Sam Kavaris. We welcome them now to Tommy Mac's here on The Horse's Mouth. Gentlemen,
cheers.
Great to have you here,
Cheers.
and thanks for being a part of the show. Sammy, welcome back.
Yes, sir.
I said in the open you must like the beer, and we like the company, so it's a good fit, right?
It is good beer.
It's good beer.
It's an Atlanta beer, right?
It's a good. Yes, it is. Sweetwater. We're big fans. Jim, I was pumping you up in the promo, well deserved, of course. Fresh off some preparations for the Ryder Cup as you serve as United States captain. Before we talk about the preparations, must make you feel great, man. You're the captain of the United States team for the Ryder Cup 2018.
Absolutely. It's always been my favorite event. We don't get the opportunity to wear the American flag, to represent our country, to play as a team very often. So to be the captain's a huge honor and also a big responsibility. So I've enjoyed the process, and we have a couple of months to get ready, and it's time to go.
What's it like, during the Ryder Cup, after the rounds, later at night? Is it like wrestling, like they go out and they have fun and enjoy each other, and then when it's time for showtime, it's, hey, us against them? What's it like off the course?
It really is. I think the practice rounds I usually despise practice rounds. It's work. You feel like there's always something to do, whether you're testing clubs and media and here and there, and you're trying to get your work done, but you're chomping at the bit to get to Thursday. I always love practice rounds in this event. You're playing with 11 other players from the U.S., some of the best players in the world. You pick up little things, you help each other, and there's also a lot of trash talking going on. We're riding each other, little games. The partners are together, and I've always had a blast practicing for this event, and I like a little trash talking myself.
Sure.
So I enjoy it.
Sammy, you must have covered the Ryder Cup for a while.
I covered it at Kiowa, actually,
Did you?
War at the Shore
up
there in '91.
Yeah.
But it's Jim, it's a huge. You mentioned it's a huge honor, but it's massive because you're always going to be the Ryder Cup captain from the United States from 2018, and that's 15 years from now, they'll still refer to you as that. Inside the sport, it's giant sized. But don't you feel like it transcends that a little bit?
It really does. I think this is the only time where a football game breaks out at a golf tournament, if that makes sense. That's the type of attitude. That's the energy from the fans. The polite golf claps are thrown out the window, and at home you're hearing the chants of USA. Over there they have a very organized soccer-like. They use the chants, but extremely organized. So a small amount of people from Europe can make a large amount of noise, and here they're going to break records. I heard numbers 51,000 tickets for a golf tournament.
That's
and
to watch 4 matches
four
going
matches
on,
on Friday and Saturday,
Right.
which a lot of those folks are going to find a tent, a television, and possibly a cocktail as well.
That's right. No doubt about it.
That's Paris, though. I mean, this is so unique and it's so cool that it's not kind of a traditional venue. It's not the K Club. It's not the Belfry. You're going to Paris to play their national, basically what's called their national golf course, right?
It is. Great golf course. They've played the French Open at this venue, Le Golf National, for over 20 years. The European Tour loves this golf course. The players talk about it. They say it's one of their top 3, one of their top 5. Usually single digits. I think this year 7 under par. Won the golf tournament. It was Alex Noren. So, they know it well. They love the golf course. I think what Europe's done that's really important is they've picked venues where their players are comfortable, where they have a European Tour event there. So not every one of their players played the event this year, but they've played events there. They're familiar with the golf course. So they start out kind of with a home field advantage as well. It's very smart of them.
So what's your you got a rah-rah for the guys? Do you have to do that? As captain, I mean, when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, what's the captain's role?
I think, we always like to say the captain's role is to put our guys in the best chance, give them an opportunity to succeed, put them in situations where they can be successful. So that's letting them prepare, knowing who their partners are going to be, really planning ahead and giving them an idea when they hop on the plane exactly what they can expect for the week. They're professionals. They're going to go and prepare for the golf course the way they see fit and do it in their own individual way. But it's our job to prepare them. And I think a good captain, a good coach. I mean, if Tom Coughlin got real fun-loving and, had it became a jokester one week, you probably would have been like, what happened here?
I sent him in to get checked.
If I go real rah-rah, they're going to say the same thing. So a good team has a good mix. You got your jokesters, you got your serious players, you got the guys that are going to provide a little levity and loosen everyone up. And that's kind of the mix that, as a captain, you want to see.
Mix.
Right, so first of all, have some cool clothes, okay?
That's right.
Have some cool clothes when you go over there.
All right.
Because the Euros, they always have a little style. I mean, Seve had like a peach sweater. I mean,
I think we're gonna let them have peach.
Peach is fine.
I like red, white, and blue.
But red, white, and blue. But sometimes. Some cool clothes. I think it's important.
That's so our clothing supplier now. I think this is the 4th Ryder Cup in a row is Ralph Lauren. So,
okay.
There you go.
Right.
Polo's going to take care of us.
That's very
Uniforms
American.
have been done for a year and a half.
That's fantastic.
Uniforms have been done since last fall.
Cool.
That's great.
So are you going to follow? Guys have had different ideas. Paul Azinger did that whole pod thing.
Right.
Wrote a book about it, obviously. Hal Sutton had his own ideas.
Right.
Tom Watson had his own ideas. You're going to bring your own ideas. Obviously, you've studied what Davis has done 2 of the last 3
Right, and I have Davis as a vice captain as well. We've had a lot of symmetry in the last 2 or 3 years. I think Zinger was the first one to introduce a pod or grouping system to us in the U.S. Some captains have and haven't used it. We've used that a lot in the President's Cup as well. So one of the things that we do is, we have a lot of symmetry with our captains, with our players from President's Cups as well. So each and every year. And I don't know if it'll be a hardcore structured exactly. It's going to be these 4 players in a pod, group, fire team, whatever terminology is used. But we'll have a rough grouping at least of guys to put together. Most important, they want to know who they're playing with, what golf ball they have to prepare for, what format they're most likely to play. And I don't know if it's so important in a better ball and a 4-ball format that they have to practice every day together. I mean, we play in 4 balls our whole life.
That's usually called the Sorry Partner Open in amateur. Hey, sorry partner.
There you go. All right, hang on
to
those.
But the foursomes are important.
Yeah,
they need to know
for
an
sure.
already shot who they're playing
No
with.
doubt about it. All right, hang on to those thoughts. We're coming back here on The Horse's Mouth with Jim Furyk and Sam Kavaris. Stay tuned. The Horse's Mouth also brought to you by Stellar. Taking solutions further. Check them out online at stellar.net. All right, welcome back to The Horse's Mouth here on Buzz TV. Jim Furyk, Sam Kavaris are my guests at Tommy Max. Jim, you're Mr. 58, lowest score ever on the PGA Tour. You've had a lot of awards in your career, of course. FedEx champion, you've been Player of the Year. You still hold the record for the lowest score in a round. Final round of Travelers. Everyone gets in a zone, right? We've all been at different levels.
U.S. Open
yeah,
champion.
U.S. Open champion. Sorry, I forgot to throw that in there. But I want to know when that day, your final round, obviously you're jacked up, you're going for the victory, but then you shoot that incredible round. Everyone's been in a zone at certain parts of their athletic career. Talk about the zone you must have been in shooting that 58.
I never would have imagined it would have happened. I actually started that round tied for 70th. I've been on the road for 29 straight days.
Wow.
Couldn't wait to go home. And I think I was in such a good mood because I was coming back. I was going to be here for a week or two and spending time with the family, and just kind of got off on a roll and birdied a bunch of holes early on, and then had a stretch in the middle of the round where I birdied 6 through 12 or 6.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 through 12.
No kidding. Wow.
Found myself at, I think, 11 under par through 12 holes, and you start pinching yourself. It's a lot of fun. Putts are going in, hitting shots close, and I had a round real similar to that 3 years prior where I shot 8 under on the front 9, got off to a good start on the back. I turned that into a 59, so it gave me a lot of confidence in that I had done it before. I'd been there before. Yeah. I could fall back on the emotions and what was going on in Chicago 3 years prior, and I was able to kind of carry it forward and take it one shot lower at 58.
Didn't you par 17 and 18 too?
I parred 17 and 18. I actually played the last
58 made par.
Played the last 5 1 under.
Wow.
So it's kind of like
the last 5 you were 1 under.
Yeah, with a reachable 5 and a reachable 4.
And was
kidding.
Was it that Monday they made the announcement that you were going to be the Ryder Cup captain?
No, it was.
I saw you at
well
World
later.
Golf
We
Village.
didn't. We actually didn't make that until January of 17.
Yeah. What were we talking? We went to the World Golf Village that next day, and you had a press conference. You were in coat and tie. You were all dressed up. It was something. I forget what it was, but
I'm not sure.
yeah,
Coat
but
and tie.
maybe it was just because you shot 58. Right?
Might have been.
That might be it. All right, cool. That's got to be an incredible moment. Obviously, you take the viewer inside what that's like. That's a special. That's why it's called the horse's mouth, Jim. That's why it's called the horse's mouth. Glad you guys are here.
Never thought I'd have had that opportunity, let alone twice.
That's right. All right, fantastic. More to come right here. Stay tuned on the horse's mouth right here on Buzz TV. The Horse's Mouth also brought to you by Synovus Bank, the bank of here. Check them out online at synovus.com. All right, welcome back to the Horse's Mouth. Jim Furyk, Sam Kavaris here at Tommy Max. Jim, I think a lot of people, I know with football, I think with most sports, right? They think you just kind of wake up that day and you play a great round of golf, right? Or you go win a tournament. They don't realize the amount of effort that goes into getting it done, right? The day in and day out. I know you hit a lot of balls, obviously. But what else do you guys do? You professional, or what else do you do? Do you do a lot of cardio? I mean, do you weight training, a lot of stretching? What's the regimen like for Jim Furyk?
I think a little of everything. Through the heart of my career, working out quite a bit, a lot of stretching. You said a little weight training, cardio. I hate cardio, but a little cardio. I tried really. I think the fitness side of golf is really. It's changed the face of the game in the last 20 years. And I think Tiger was on the front end of that. But you look back to Gary Player 40 and 50 years ago, he's a smaller, he's short. Gary's not a very big man. He's playing against athletes like Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus, who was a giant, looked like a bear out there, and then got the nickname. Gary was a small player, and he had to be physically fit and take care of himself to compete. And he was able to do so. But now we've got a bunch of kids out there that athletic looking, stronger, way more fit, hitting the ball a mile. And I know the equipment's better, but the athlete's better as well, or the amount of athletes are better. And it's helped change kind of the face of our game and the way the game is played. I mean, it is a power-dominated, power-oriented game right now.
Do you get tired? I mean, the final round, it's hot out. I mean, you got to be tired. I
think
would
it's
imagine.
more mental fatigue, and it's also how you manage your week.
Okay.
If you're practicing really hard Monday to Wednesday, and you're doing it for 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row, I think you get more mentally tired, and that causes physical mistakes, if that makes sense. I think
it does.
Walking 18 holes, we're capable of that for 5, 6 days in a row and in the heat. But I think a lot of it's the stress, the mental preparation, and I think that wears you down. At the end of the day, I'm tired because of the mental stress, not the physical.
But you walk 18 holes 6 days in a row at Augusta National. You know you.
Oh,
were,
yeah.
you were.
You know it.
Whether you're playing golf or not. I mean, that's a physically taxing golf course to walk.
It is, but we are walking. We don't have to run.
That's
So
right.
that's good. Thank goodness.
Take your time.
My career would ended a long time ago.
Yeah. I've often wondered. I mean, I'm not a good comparison. I swing way too fast, but I get tired after on 8 holes, 9 holes. So I'm swinging too much and too hard. But I always wondered if you guys did. Well, how about that mental preparation? I mean, do you have to do a lot of I'll be honest. When the coach said, "Hey, visualize," I could try to visualize, I could see it, but I never really felt like I had to visualize me making a tackle in order for me to make a tackle. Is that golf a lot different?
Well, you're watching film, and I'm sure as plays develop in your head, you're remembering something you saw and what you can react.
Yep.
The one thing about golf that's different than most every other sport, you reacted. You didn't have a lot of time to think about what was going to happen.
Right.
You had to react
Yep.
and go. In golf, you're in a static position. You're standing over the golf ball, pretty still, and you've got a million different thoughts. And so I think some of our mental preparation, talking to a sports psychologist, I work with, the last 4 or 5 years I've worked with Bob Rotella.
Okay.
And so he's trying to make us react more. Everyone's talking about their putting, and I've got to grip this way and my elbow in, and you can get yourself tied up into knots. And,
Right.
You're a good enough athlete. Get this ball in that hole.
One of the first things he did is he walked around a room and he was throwing me a set of car keys. And he's like, just keep throwing them back. And he kept moving. I kept, I was kind of getting bored after a while. And he said, now, did you think about how your elbow was tucked or how you gripped the keys, or did you just let it go?
Yeah.
Right.
Just let it go.
Sometimes you got to let it rip, right?
How did you know how far to throw it?
Right.
Because I'm an athlete.
That's right. I just threw it.
Yeah.
Right. One thing I always wanted to ask you, Jim, is that golf is one of maybe the only professional sport where you can't play any defense, right? So how many times did you not win a tournament because you didn't play well enough, or versus how many times were just some other guy just played better? You're standing there.
Good question.
Right.
I definitely gave some away. I mean, there's some
Is that right?
still
I mean,
hurt.
that you think about that.
I'd say when I was close, it was probably a 50-50 mix. There were times where I played my heart out and the other guy just played better. And there were times where I felt like I made mental errors, I made mistakes, physically made a bad swing. Probably 50-50.
The mental toughness has got to be phenomenal.
Absolutely.
It's harder for me. The hardest part about golf, I could deal with someone playing better. I can actually deal with physical mistakes pretty well. We're human. The mental mistakes are the ones that eat at me, and they'll eat at me for the rest of my life.
I bet. Yeah. Well, hey, it's like you gotta put the play behind you, right? You gotta move on and get.
Can't tackle that guy on the tee.
Love to, wouldn't you though? Would be great.
Once in a while.
Yeah, just like a Terry Crews.
Maybe not quite Ernie Els. He's a little bigger, but there's a couple guys I like.
And it's the only sport really where you got to play your foul balls too.
That's right. Hey, Jim, thanks for coming on the show.
I appreciate
man.
you having
Really
me. Thanks.
appreciate
We've been
that.
talking
Glad
about it
you're
for a while.
getting
Glad I can make
healthy
it.
and you're feeling good and you're ready to go for the remainder of the
Thanks.
year. And
Appreciate
good luck
you
with the
having
Ryder Cup. Seriously, we're all pulling for you.
I can't
awesome.
wait.
Sammy,
Can't wait.
Pulling
you're
for
the man.
him. You kidding?
Well,
I may show up.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, enjoy Paris. All right. All right, more to come. We've got Up Close and Personal with Gary McKinley from McKinley Associates headed your way next, right here on The Horse's Mouth. Brought to you by All right, time once again for Up Close and Personal here at the Horse's Mouth, and we've got Gary McKinley from McKinley and Associates. Gary, great to have you, man.
Thanks, Tom.
You and I go way back. We've known each other a long time. We've got some common ground in the sports world. You with soccer, me with football. But at McKinley Associates, you guys specialize in estate planning, taking care of people's money, making sure they don't lose any money, and you've been doing it for a long time. How'd you get into it?
You know, it was sports like you. It was coaching, coaching some parents' kid, and they said, listen, you can coach and get into the business world, and 20 years later, here I am.
Yeah. What do you got to have? What kind of salt do you got to have inside there? Obviously, you got some entrepreneurial spirit. You have to have that. There's a lot of ups. There's a lot of downs. Obviously, a lot of ups throughout your career. But I know, like any other good entrepreneur, you've had your hills and you've had your valleys. What's it take to be a success in your space?
I think it's you have to be there to serve. If you're there to serve other people, that the rest takes care of itself. I think my grandmother said it best. She said, "Gary, do what you love, and the rest will follow." And I think if you fall in love with something and you're passionate about something, and you serve others, then good things happen.
Well, and look, people know when you're genuine. Right? And that in your business, a lot of business, right? We know this, but in your business especially, they have to be able to trust you.
Absolutely.
That's number one.
Absolutely.
If they don't trust you, then they're probably not going to be a client.
You're right. You're so right. It is definitely a relationship business, and we aren't for everybody.
Right.
We're going to make sure that it's a good match before we work with people, and we've just been very blessed to do a good job for people, give world-class service, and make sure that we put their interest first.
Well, I know when you're helping people that have money saved, whether in an IRA, 401k, whatever it may be, you have a plan for them to really help them with taxes, right? We all know when you go to take that money out, disbursements, you get taxed, right? But you guys, you're not going to give away your special sauce here, but that's what you guys do. You want people to feel comfortable. Hey, you've got this money saved. We're going to show you a way to make sure when you take it out that it's not as taxed nearly like it was on the way in. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, that's really well said. The problem with all these good savings that we put in these 401ks and IRAs is that we forget that it's also a tax liability that's growing. So we may be solving one problem and creating a new one. So we've found a niche to be able to deal with that issue and make sure that people can have access to that money on a tax favorable basis, and that's how we differentiate ourselves from a lot of our competition.
The horse's mouth, our tagline is where sports meets business meets life. Everything you go through as an athlete, you go through in business, you go through in life.
Sure.
You have been in the soccer world forever. You're a player, college player. You've been a coach, you've been a scout, you still are a scout. What did you take from sports that you use every single day in the business world and maybe in life too?
Yeah, I think it's never say you can't, right? I mean, it's, people told me you could never be a collegiate coach by the time you're 27. They told you could never be part of the national staff and the top 100 coaches in the country, and I looked at them all. I said, well, we'll see.
Yep.
And when I got into this business, people said, well, you'll never be in the top 1%. And my firm and my team have put us at $1 million round table every year as top 1% in the world. So, just your doubters, just get after it and, do the right thing and get it done and help others and serve, and it'll happen. If
you persevere, if you hustle your butt off and you have what you're selling, it has credibility. It's a winning formula.
It is. It's hard work. It's putting your family first and keeping a balance. I think the balance, we learned that in sports, that if you have a balance between family, business, life, everything works out.
All right, Gary, thanks for joining us.
Tom, thanks for having us.
Always a pleasure.
All right.
All right, the horse's mouth with Up Close and Personal with Gary McKinley at McKinley Associates right here on Buzz TV.
What makes the Tom Bush Family Dealership so special?
It's because we treat our customers like family.
With you and with Tom Bush, we just felt an instant connection, and we knew that they were really truly caring about our family and making sure we had the right vehicle.
We had a lot of fun.
We did.
Picking it out, getting the right one for you.
He hooked my kids up with some Volkswagen swag, and we enjoyed the whole experience.
We invite you to join our growing family.
Visit one of our 7 locations today and experience the Tom Bush difference.
All right, another great show. Hope you enjoyed it this week here on The Horse's Mouth. Jim Furyk. I hope you got a chance to go inside, what it's like to be a type of player that he is. And Ryder Cup Captain is just phenomenal. I love having these guests on the show. That's why it's called The Horse's Mouth, straight from the source. Of course, Sammy Kavaris as well, a great friend of mine who's been an icon when it comes to sports broadcasting. Hey, want to thank my sponsors, Ewing Real Estate, of course, Stellar, the great general contractor, Synovus Bank, Tom Bush BMW, the Carpet Man Flooring. We love you all, and we thank you for your support. So until next time, Jacksonville, get after it, man. Have some fun. It's a great time to be alive. Make sure you stay cool, Jacksonville, and be safe. And we'll see you next time here on The Horse's Mouth.